Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of Channel Update. Alright, we're back and it's been a while. I'd realized that. I'm sorry about that, but it's with channel updates sometimes it becomes a little difficult for me to actually get to that. Today was a good day. I'm sort of still recovering from bout of some really persistent sort of bronchitis. I had to have sort of this very expensive treatment. I didn't really want to talk about it. I mentioned it before, I think, on one of the videos, but I didn't really want to talk about it because I don't want to sort of like throw the videos off the track. But now that we're doing the channel update is sort of the place where I come to vent a little bit and tell you guys, a little bit about my life without having to worry about having to be concise. I sort of try to approach it as like a mini a podcast, or just sort of like overindulge about talking about my life, which is something that sounds like very self-centered, but no, I kid. I don't really enjoy talking about myself. But, so what's up? There's a couple of things that I want to talk about, and I guess I sort of wrote it down on a list because I want to make sure that I get to it. So I want to talk about, my trip to Australia. I want to talk about my health, which will include, exactly what I was just talking about before, and, just what I want related to that, as well as what's going to be coming up on the channel, where I plan to go, what games, and when we'll get to those things. So first and foremost, I am going back to Australia. Earlier in this year, I did hint at it. I don't think I said last time that I went that I was going specifically to Australia, but I do think that I actually told people afterwards where I was. I'm a little bit like private when it comes to my life and what I'm doing. I want to avoid trying to make this just be about what I'm doing with my life. But I'm going back to Australia. It's an unexpected trip. I'm going back for work purposes. I wish I could say that it was something that is, adventurous and I'm like super excited about it. But it's work related, and there's been a lot of sort of like complicated things. I'm okay. I'm fine. There's no issue with my job, but it's kind of like serious things that need to be taken care of. So I'm expecting to be a little tense by the time I come back. So that's pretty much what's going on in terms of that. That means that I will sort of be out of commission for about 3 weeks. The trip itself, I think it's only 2 weeks, but between the prep time of going there and coming back, I reckon that I will be out of commission for about 3 weeks. I underestimated last time because I prepared the videos in advance as well about how tired I was going to be when I came back. And people told me it's going to take an entire week, take it easy, the jet lag is really terrible. And I didn't really pay too much attention to that. But it is absolutely true. The jet lag and the recovery of just going from one end to the world to the other and getting adjusted to your sleep patterns and whatnot is pretty intense, and it took me about a week, and even then I didn't feel that I wanted to jump back into it straight away. So that's the Australia situation. In terms of my health, yeah, it was kind of unfortunate. I've been mostly knocked out for the better part of this month. It's it's taken my toll, and it's taken its toll in terms of the work that I want to do, because I'm still working. And you know, I had lacking energy. For any of you who've ever had some sort of like affectation which refers to your lungs and whatnot, you know, having difficulty breathing, talking, and it just really drains energy out of you. So it has been very, very hard. And I want to stay kind of true to the channel, because the channel has, you know, has a very special you know, place in my heart in terms of the role that it played. And maybe in the next channel update I'll talk about that, and now that I have a bit more of like critical distance from when I started the channel, and talk about that as well. Having said that, that has put some degree of pressure and stress on me, and that has made sometimes get that feeling that you are, you know, that you have to work on this and you have to do it, and realizing that you don't have enough time. So that has kind of like led not to a burnout, but to a desire for not necessarily wanting to just constantly do content, and rather just to like rest and think about like what is it that makes me want to do the work that I want to do in the first place. That tied, of course, with sort of like the you know, all the other things surrounding my life, which are have been a little bit difficult. I'm going to talk about it without giving out too many details, but I'll sort of phrase it the following way. I'm someone who grew up pretty much all over the place, so I have friends pretty much all over the world, and currently there are certain places where the situation isn't great, and there's been other, you know, more personal situations as well that have developed that have you know, tend to cause disappointment, stress. I like to think that I'm the type of person who won't, you know, set out to try and harm people on purpose. Like everyone, I think that I might not be perfect, and that I might not make the best choices at times. And if that's ever brought to my attention, then I try to repair the situation, or say that I'm sorry, or you know, try and work with that, because that's not who I am, and that's not who I want to be. Having said that, there are other situations that are completely out of your control, and situations that you really can't do anything except trying to be there for other people. So there are several people right now who are very close to me, who are not living in the same country as I am. And I won't say where they are, but let's just say that at the current state of the situation, they've had very, very tough and trying times, and I'm in contact with them, you know, providing support, and in some cases trying to, you know, find monetary solutions for them to help them, you know, stay afloat. And it's just, you know, it's very tough and sad that they're in those situations, but that also occupies, you know, some of my time, and I do it because I believe it is the fair thing to do and the just thing to do. And that also puts, you know, that it makes me feel guilty sometimes when I take my free time to you know, work on like video games or things that aren't, you know, life or death. So it's been occupying my mind to a certain extent, and that's also influenced my desire to work on things. I know it's not, I should look at these as me working on the channel and doing these things as, escapes that allow me to, have a breather from more serious situations. And I know that that's perfectly fine and that that's perfectly normal, but like any human being, you can't help sometimes but feel certain ways. And I felt that that's something that I wanted to bring out. In the past, I've sort of felt the support of many great people who, supported me 2 years ago when I had started the channel, or not started the channel, but when I was using the channel more actively, and I was expressing, my day to day. And so I think that that's it's good to put that out there. So. I hope that I can continue helping people. I hope that I can continue helping my friends, and I hope that that I will have the drive and motivation to, keep working with the channel and having contact with all of you who send me messages through the channel, through Reddit, or I'm forgetting the name, Discord or whatnot. So that's the serious part of this channel update. So what's up with the channel? Okay, well, where do I want to go? Essentially, I don't want to really deviate too far from what I've currently been doing. A friend of mine was telling me he was watching the channel. He watches the channel sort of like actively. God bless his soul, or for those of you who would prefer that saying any other way, thank the many, whatever it is you want to choose to believe in, that's the case, because I really, really do appreciate it, and I appreciate getting feedback. He was saying that I've sort of changed the path of the channel, that I'm not doing now gaming. It's become sort of like a WoW or a mod centric channel, or a WoW centric channel. And I said, yeah, I mean, that's not really what I set out to do. But at the same time, there's no denying that WoW has been one of my favorite games, or that the Warcraft franchise has been one of my favorite franchises of all time. If you ever, played Warcraft 3, and if you ever played any mods that have like high elf buildings or any weird other mods done by Sinister X, that was me. I put them out, and anyone who has now played mods that use my models and my resources for years and years and years and years, I was part of that, and I'm proud to have been able to do that. And things, change over time. I was also part of like Infamous Adventures, and we did remake versions of classic games and whatnot, and that's also out there as well. But the truth of the matter is that there are so many sort of like passionate people when it comes to WoW. And part of that comes back to myself. I have friends that I've met over a decade ago on WoW, and I still talk to them on a day-to-day basis. It's not, I don't think, the norm, but it's had some huge impact in my life in terms of I have one particular friend that we went into that, then we started doing like roleplay at WoW, then we went on to sort of like private servers, and we created our own communities on that, and we did like creative writing, and to this day we now like work on different projects, and so like WoW is a part of my life as much as any type of game. Like, I find myself sometimes talking to this person, this friend of mine, and reminiscing about WoW stories or funny situations, or even just private life situations that we're now privy to because we've known each other for such a long time. So that's fine. I don't think I'm going to be changing the channel. too much. I'd like to do some new things, but I think we're gonna keep going with the WoW mods, and we'll see where that goes. I'm happy where the channel is right now. Of course, I always want more subscribers, and remember to like and subscribe and ding that bell button. So, then there's that. What games? Well, of course, the new stuff. So what is it? One of the things that I do miss in those times that I am feeling like I do need a bit of an escape is, moving into different games and just playing different games and maybe sharing that. So maybe I'll bring back the whole format of me sitting down and playing a game for like half an hour, like a game I've never played before, and sort of taking like a stream approach to it, which is not really editing it all that much and just having it be. But we'll see, because YouTube is kind of funny about that type of thing anyways. But I want to bring that back. When will that happen? That's a good question. I don't know. That's the most honest answer that I can give you. Because I am essentially on the eve of leaving to Australia, or it's coming, pretty soon. I doubt that it's going to be anytime soon. That means that we might be looking at it, and I have to sort of date the video. If we are looking right now at the end of September, and we're saying that I'm going to be out of commission for about 3 weeks, that means that we'll probably be looking at something at October. So a great time to maybe pick that up is to have some sort of like Halloween themed video game videos, exploration, whatnot, for the end of October. So maybe that'll be something. Maybe that'll be it. Maybe it'll be a Halloween evening, a series of videos. Maybe it'll just be the one video. I'm not sure, but I think that's sort of like the best example that I can give. What else did I want to talk? Okay, so the last bit on my little spiel here is the away schedule. So what does that mean? Well, what are we looking at? Okay, so that means that I have to most likely prepare content for 3 weeks. That'll be away, excluding this week that you will be listening to the channel update. I think the easiest thing for me to do is to prepare a series of videos for that, and also do another channel update, which I think I'll try and do in Australia. I'm going to try and see how I can figure that out, but have that happen as well. I want to maybe change the format and maybe just address some questions at that time, or maybe just talk a little bit about Australia in general, kind of theme it around Australia. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'll theme it around Halloween. I am not 100% sure. But I think that is about everything I do want to tell you. It's been roughly around 18 minutes since I started talking. Should I have timed that? Should I have let you know how long you've been listening to me? Did you listen to me for this long? I don't know. But I think that's about it. So I'll be checking in with all of you again very shortly. Know that I'm still just as committed with the channel. Know that, if you write something to me on the channel, it helps me because it helps with the engagement of the channel. And I also want to answer and reply. I'm pretty sure that I've replied to absolutely almost everyone. And on that good note, bye-bye everybody, and take it easy.